Hello friends, welcome back to that 1870s Homestead. My name's Rachel and today we're doing, it's a Monday, so happy Monday. I'm just doing some things that I like to do on Monday. Today's a little bit extra because I'm trying to put everything together for you guys. So I might split these up during the week, but I like to do either snacks or dessert or something that will see us through the week. It's egg season, so egg bites are on the menu this week. Last week it was deviled eggs, but I need to introduce some fiber to my diet, so I'm going to be doing a few jars of overnight oats, some egg bites, some of our salmon dip with our smoked salmon, and a dessert with the cottage cheese and yogurt that is a gluten-free, high-protein dessert. So I thought I'm going to take my time and share each of these with you guys. I know you like to see how inside other people's kitchens and how they're eating, and this might inspire a few things on your menu this week or next week. So I'm gonna get each thing prepped and then we'll come back and do them together, okay? Okay, for the oats, I'm using some just sprouted, regular old rolled oats, some Greek yogurt, we're doing peanut butter and jelly style, some peanut butter powder, some of my blueberry zucchini chia jam. So this is a really low sugar recipe, and the chia seeds are already in it. Some of our maple syrup and some whole milk. So most recipes call for like a half a cup of oats. That's just too much for me, so I'm going in with a quarter cup of oats. And then we'll do a quarter cup of our, just shy, I guess, a quarter cup of our yogurt. Alrighty, and then we're gonna go in with a half a cup of our milk. And we never need milk that I can keep not shelf stable milk in my house. So I've been buying this at Costco. It's like organic, just boxed milk, and the grandkids love it. So it's a fun treat for them. And then when I need milk, I use this. But I've also regularly used evaporated milk, or like canned coconut milk would be great. Okay, almost there. Probably 2 tablespoons of my peanut butter powder. And then we're gonna do just a little dollop of maple syrup. And if you ever feel guilty about eating maple syrup, don't feel guilty because it has lots of good, as long as it's natural, you know, like the real deal. It has so many good vitamins and minerals in it for you. Alrighty, just don't overdo it. Don't let that be an excuse to overdo it. I'm gonna stir those before we top it with our jelly. Make sure that peanut butter powder's all good and mixed in. We eat oatmeal quite regularly at the cabin, and one of my favorites is peanut butter oatmeal. I'll just take a big spoon of peanut butter and put it in there. If you've never had peanut butter in your oatmeal, 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, now I'm just gonna go in with a nice heaping spoonful of my jam. Alrighty. And then we'll put lids on, and these will just go in the fridge to sit, and they're good for 5 days. So I'm not gonna eat it every day, probably every other day, and see how it treats my belly. Okay, now we're moving on to the egg bites. So for those, I'm actually gonna do a batch and a half. So this is a dozen eggs. We have our cottage cheese. We have some grated cheese. I'm putting cowboy candy and kale, freeze-dried kale spinach mix in mine. You can doctor it up however you want. So I will tell you the standard recipe while I'm cracking all these eggs is, oops, there goes an eggshell, standard recipe is 7 eggs, a cup of cottage cheese, and a cup of shredded cheese. So I'm not doubling my shredded cheese because I'm just using the block that I had available and I didn't feel like opening another one. So it's right at a cup. And that's okay. And what we're gonna do with the other half is I'm gonna make like a frittata style in a skillet, and that'll be Todd and I's lunch today, and then these can be lunch, breakfast snacks for the rest of the week. And I realize eggs are a luxury right now, so we're able to do this because we have our own chickens. But it is a way to really make eggs go the distance if you have them. So rather than just scrambling up some eggs, you know, say you had, the recipe calls for 7 eggs, you get a full dozen muffins with that recipe. So it's definitely a way to extend those expensive suckers right now. Those are some orange looking egg yolks. Very, very healthy for us. All right, let me clean up my mess. I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my cottage cheese, and I'm gonna go in with 1.5 cups. Some recipes will say you need to process all this in a blender. I haven't found that necessary at all. I like it just the way it is, just mixed together. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with a couple dollops. Normally I would just do 1 heaping tablespoon of cowboy candy, but we're gonna go in with 2. And cowboy candy, if you don't know what it is like a jalapeno relish. So it's jalapenos that have been cooked down with some sugar, apple cider vinegar, some turmeric, and it's just an amazing condiment, I think, on eggs. But I use it on everything. All right, let's open up our spinach and kale. And then typically I'll just grab a handful or so and crunch and put in there. It's a great way to sneak in some greens too if you got picky kiddos or anyone picky in your house. And then we're just gonna mix this up. And I fill these muffin cups to the tip top. I do not salt and pepper it at this time. You certainly could. We salt and pepper after they, you know, when it's time to eat them. Oh, I should have had my oven preheating to 325. And the muffins will cook for 23 minutes. And I'm just gonna eyeball the frittata and see how long I think it needs to go. Probably a little longer. Oh, I should have had my oven preheating to 325. And the muffins will cook for 23 minutes. And I'm just gonna eyeball the frittata and see how long I think it needs to go. Probably a little longer. This is regularly requested these days by Todd while we have all the eggs. And these will store, if they last, I should say. We typically will eat this muffin pan in 3 days. So I've never had it go longer than that, but I would imagine they would store fine for 4 days. You don't need to grease your muffin cups. All the fat from the cheese is enough to make it nice and oily to come right out of your muffin cups. So that one I'm gonna set aside, and then we'll bring over our skillet. What size is this one? 5-inch. Let's do the 6-inch. Alrighty, I'll show you those when they come out of the oven. We're gonna move on to our salmon spread next. Okay, so this is smoked salmon. So we pre-smoked it. There's garlic, maybe a little honey in here, and it's just on a pint, but I have to take the skin off and drain it. And then we have cream cheese, lemon juice, some Old Bay, a little dash of liquid smoke, cayenne pepper, and some paprika. And that is what we're going, salt and pepper, of course. I forgot to get that out. Let's open this up. We're going to take the skins off. So I'm just slipping the skins. Ready for our egg muffins. You can do this though with salmon that you buy at the store and just add a little bit more liquid smoke, maybe if you want it smoked flavored. But we fell in love with salmon dip when we were early in our relationship at Famous Dave's restaurant. They have a smoked salmon spread, and we've worked over the years to make it, and it's absolutely delicious. It'll be a little stinky in your house maybe if you make this, and your fingers will be stinky, but you can use the lemon juice to clean your fingers. Now I prefer a full block of cream cheese, but I've already gotten into this one a couple times. But a full block, 8 ounces of cream cheese would be great. It's probably right at 6 ounces there, 7 ounces. And I'm just gonna use this container to store it in. I'm way low on Old Bay, so we're probably gonna dump everything that's left. And I found a recipe online where I can make my own, and I have all the ingredients, so I don't have to buy it anymore. That's good. Well, there's a good amount. I don't know. Do it to your taste, I guess. That's probably a good tablespoon of Old Bay. I'm gonna go in with, I don't know, half a teaspoon or so of cayenne. I kind of just eyeball it every time I make it. A couple good sprinkles of paprika. Just do a couple hits of liquid smoke, not too much. Doesn't need it because it's already smoked. A splash of lemon juice always brightens any flavor when it comes to fish. And then we'll do some salt and pepper. Okay, now close your ears because I am going to use metal spoon on glass just because I need to really work this together. So it's going to clang around for those people with sensitive ears. Okay, now you could serve this. I definitely recommend letting it sit in the refrigerator at least a few hours to let all the flavors come together, if not overnight. And then serve it with, you know, some warm pita bread or crackers or vegetable slices. Just a yummy snack to have on hand for the week. And we've had this last, oh gosh, probably in our refrigerator for 2 weeks, snacking on it. And yummy, yummy. Now you could add like grated onion to this, some chives. The world is your oyster or your salmon, and you can make it how you like. We'll make this sometimes and carry it to the cabin for quick treats. Okay, I just got the egg bites in the oven. I started with 15 minutes just because my frittata was a little thin. I'll check it, but I'll probably go to the full 23 minutes, I know, on the muffins. Now the next one we have thoroughly enjoyed. I'd say probably in February. I'm not sure why or when. Maybe it was like the kids were coming over one day and I made like brownies, and I had little brownie squares cut up in the cookie jar. Last week somebody was over, it was the grandsons, and we made like a cobbler. So Todd and I then pick on the leftovers all week long, and we've really enjoyed that. Now those two things, the brownies, yeah, those two things were not gluten-free. So I'm gonna make a healthy treat for us for this week. And it is a like high protein cheesecake style. thing. So, and we're gonna be, a lot of you guys are interested in how I use beef gelatin, so here's gonna be an example. So I'm gonna go in with that last little bit of milk I have. You want like a half a cup. What is that? Not quite a cup. So I'm just gonna add a little water to this. Okay, and we're going to do what's called blooming. So if you make bread, you're familiar with blooming yeast. You want to bloom your gelatin too. Oh, I already had a tablespoon in there. And we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons. And then I got a little tiny whisk, and we're gonna whisk that. And then just set it aside and let the gelatin do its thing. Okay, how long should we let it bloom? I don't know. Maybe like five minutes or so. But while we're doing that, we can mix the rest of the ingredients. Okay, now we get to use our cottage cheese and our yogurt again, and we are gonna be making like a lemon blueberry style cheesecake thingy. I'm just making this up. I mean, I did see a recipe for inspiration, but it calls for a cup of cottage cheese and a cup of Greek yogurt. I probably just have like 2/3 of a cup of cottage cheese left. And you don't have to bake this, you just put it in your refrigerator, so it's a great thing to do if last minute, you know, you want to throw together a dessert for tonight, or have something ready for the weekend coming up. But if you had like leftover ricotta cheese in the fridge, you could add that to this, and you can make it your way again. So I'm choosing to do a lemon blueberry, so I'm just gonna go in with some lemon extract. And then I'm gonna mix that together. It's feeling like spring, so this just sounded yummy, springy to me. Okay, I can probably switch to not metal for you guys. And then I'm going to crunch up a few gluten-free graham crackers and my, if this lasts, I should say. It's a great practice for me always. Practicing learning how to make gluten-free recipes for a daughter-in-law that I have that has celiacs. And we've found that just us, we don't have celiacs, but we found being gluten-free, we're feeling much better. Or I should just call us gluten-less, because we're not gluten-free, but far, far less than we used to consume. I'm just checking it, eyeballing it. And these are frozen. Make sure there's nearly a blueberry in every bite. Okay, now I'm gonna take 1 package of these, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so maybe 2 whole honey grams if that's what you're using. And I'm just gonna break them up and throw them in there. And this is pretty guiltless. I mean, when you talk about things that are important to a lot of us women anyway, you know, later in these years, low carbs, high protein, good fats. So yeah, really good. I guess the only thing I could have done better is found organic cottage cheese, but Aldi doesn't have that. Or cottage cheese that had actual probiotics in it would have been better. Okay. And why we're doing the gelatin is that's going to set this up like a cheesecake. And the beef gelatin's good for us with all the added benefits that brings. You know, collagen we need for our skin health and our hair health and our nails, just our brain. Okay. Oh, this is looking good, guys. You guys see that? Oh, yummy, yummy. Do you ever get my favorite ice cream? One of my favorite ice creams when you go to like a fancy ice cream parlor is and this is what the gelatin looks like now. So it's really thickened. Okay. Let me squeeze all this out and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna use that same whisk and kind of, as best as I can, get that gelatin whisked in here. Oh man, I don't know if I can wait to try this. It's so good. All right, now I just have you could use an 8x8, but this is the closest thing I have to that right now. I could used a pie plate, I guess. We're gonna dump this in here. I'm gonna wrap it and put it in the fridge. And then we'll just get a little ice cream scoop worth when we need a sweet treat. Okay, I will make sure to come back. The oven's about to go off so I can check it. Let me just check it real quick. Yep, that skillet's almost done. I'll come back tonight and show a clip of this, me digging into it, so you guys can see how well it sets up. First time I'm making it, so I'm just trusting my inspirational idea. Okay, so I'm gonna take the skillet out. That one is done. It'll be a little jiggly in the center, but it'll continue to set up. And then I'm gonna set the timer for 7 more minutes and we'll pull out those others. I just tasted the spoon on this and I think my inspiration recipe must have had some sweetener in it. I don't remember that. Like whether you wanna use monk fruit or Splenda, it's a little tart. So I'm gonna go in, I think with some honey. That's what we'll do. What is that, like a good 2 tablespoons? So maybe we'll do 4. Honey's pretty powerful stuff. Okay. I'm just gonna mix that in. I suppose you could have just drizzled it on top. I'll tell you what I thought I was gonna do when I made this was dump in some strawberry jam. But I thought that would be too sweet. But maybe it would have been perfect. Yep, that's lovely. Okay. Cottage cheese is done for the week. I do have half a container of Greek yogurt left, so that'll make something else, or we'll just enjoy Greek yogurt, or when the grandkids come over, they really like having little yogurt parfaits. So when the muffins are done, we'll come back and we'll look at our spread and what we accomplished together. And thanks, guys. I'm ready for lunch, though. I've got breakfast, snacks, dessert made for the week. And it's just one of the things that I think I really enjoy doing with my time now is being able to just whip things up throughout the week and have them to snack on. So stick around and I'll show you the end. Oh, sorry, you're still filming. I just saw it in the fridge when I was putting the yogurt away. This is last week's sweet treat. Actually, I made this 2 weeks ago, but there's 1 spoon left. And this is like faux cookie dough. It's peanut butter, almond flour, maple syrup, salt, and chocolate chips. And me and Todd have been taking a tablespoon at night and really enjoying that. So I was gonna finish it, but I'll do it off camera. Okay, last one. Those look pretty good. Can you hear the bubbles? Yeah, yummy. Alrighty, so in summary, what did we get done? And it was probably 45 minutes, and that was with me talking to you guys and everything. So we have our, let me bring them over here. Our overnight oats. We have our salmon dip for the week, lunch today, lunches for the next 3 days. Well, yeah. So I usually eat 2 for me, 3 for Todd, 3 for Todd, and then 2 for a snack for Todd. That's usually the way it works out. And dessert. So, yeah, get in your kitchen, make something. And it doesn't have to take a long time. And here's just some healthy-ish inspiration ideas for you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.